It's a joke. They
Right.
pranking me, right? We on Ashton Kutcher punking us right now,
Right.
right? And
Gregory said it's
so
too late.
when the only reason why the executive orders page of the government is not updated anymore because there's no more presidents to issue a true executive order. That's done.
Mm-hmm.
We we in the very ends of reconstruction of tribal law on the land, restoring back the ancient ways in a modern time. It had to be adjusted, and it took an adjustment period for people to understand what happened, so that they could see all that gloom and doom, them scare tactics. That's just to keep the loose in the air,
Mm.
and the loose serves as almost like a narcotic effect. This is why if you run up on a flock of sheep, they can't even run. If you run on them at them face on, you got to come from behind them. If you come at them face on while they facing you, they fall. They don't know what to do because the predators always attack them from the rear, right? But if you come up them at a side angle or back of them, they know to run, right? But if you come directly at them, they froze. They got a species of goat that literally freeze and turn stiff and fall over like he did when you run up on him.
Yeah, it's got it.
Right. Right. So what they showing us here is that the United States government is truly gone. And that now the people need to wake up because the original people then reclaimed everything. Now we're just trying to get the tribes to remember who the F they are so that they can wake up from the slumber.
So
because that's Freudian slip.
So how can we actually do that? And when you have so many people within the infrastructure of democracy still trying to fight for reparations. So, because like I said, reparations is the carrot on the stick. Like, because, you know, when you participate in fraud, you can't claim injury to the system, right? So it's really going to put you under a jurisdiction again if you conform to those appellation titles of African American and Black that ties you right back to the 14th Amendment. So how, as a collective, can we help people deviate from those ideologies, you know, and let them know that, like, we didn't come, we've been here the whole time. And it's a lot of people who don't understand that, and how that also applies to ecclesiastical law and their factions of religion.
Well, one thing, by exposing what's being done to us, helps us to mentally defend from it. And whatever level we realize it at, we can explain to people on the same level what we're seeing. I don't even discuss reparations, because under no circumstance, if you start giving reparations, then you're just gonna be money shuffling all over the world, going back to the end of time.
Right.
Right, because at some point outside of America, everybody had everybody's slaves. This has always been the land of the free, the home of the brave, until 1492. And now it's the land of the captive, and the captive is called the slave. Since 1492. We've been in a perpetual state of warlock. All Big Mama banks was closed. Well, shut their system down, now her banks are opening up. Right.
So what about restitution?
It's the same thing. They can't restitute. They can't. The only thing they can do is give us what's ours, and then they don't got nothing.
Exactly.
If they give us what's ours, they don't got nothing. So then what we gonna get from them? So you got two options. You can fight for reparations. That means fight for what you want. Or you can fight what's rightfully yours, which is going to surpass reparations by millions.
Facts.
Per individual, that is. Right? So we don't know. We will sit here and we follow the system, but the system ain't going nowhere but down.
Facts.
That's why they named all of the schools, because school is Sheol and Sheol is hell.
Yep.
Right? And now they teach your children how to act like demons.
Yep. Yep. So that so I want to get right back in the groove of the publication. Let me see, because we didn't get into this right here. Because we was going into the blood pacts. Yeah, the practice of the blood sacrifice.
I think didn't we go over this already?
Yeah, we already went through that. And then you got the well-documented piece.
Okay, you see where it say the Phoenicians of Carthage?
Yeah, I see it.
Do you know where Carthage is?
That's like out there, like
It's an old Egyptian city.
Okay.
Phoenician is a reference to, that's one of the names before they was called Etruscans. They were called Phoenicians. And they was the seafarers. Right? And they was the ones who shopped this blood rituals around the world on the high seas using the Admiralty and maritime jurisdiction. And this is why the Scottish Rite color is red.
That's a good connection right there.
One of the reasons. The other reason is because the Scottish Rite Freemasons usurped it from the daughters of Isis and replaced the nuns. Right? They changed the dress of the nuns. The nuns used to wear white. And Big Mama only one wore the black. That's why they called it a Black Madonna.
Facts.
Right? The symbol was in Kemet is called the primordial nun, N-U-N. And that's why they spell nun N-U-N instead of N-O-N-E. It's trickery in the first degree.
Facts. Nothing but semantics and tricknology at its finest. So let me see. Also found this kind of interesting too at the bottom right here. It's talking about during the Great Viking Age of Scandinavia, the legend has it that humans were sacrificed to Odin in order to defend their universe against chaos. They will also assimilate the wisdom of their victims by drinking their blood. Of course, we are all familiar with the Aztecs, the Mayans, and their preoccupation with human sacrifice. So, I think that one guy, he had the guy who killed Sonya Massey, he had a Scandinavian tattoo on him, didn't he? And he had all types of, I forgot what type of sigil he had on him, but I know it basically coincides with like Nordic mythology where they propagate Odin.
Yeah, but a lot of those things is applied to those doctrines that wasn't originally there. You gotta remember, they just slid blood sacrifice into every religion.
Facts.
Right? Because during the time of Muhammad, they didn't believe in blood sacrifice, but now they got some kind of symbolic ritual of blood sacrifice in their religion.
Facts.
The same with the church, same with the Hebrews is the ones who came out of Babylon, or they call it the Babylonian captivity, with the money magics, the sex magic, and the blood magic. And they the ones been pushing it. But they ain't pale-faced Khazarians, and they ain't Spanish Sephardis.
Yep. That's what
they the same ones that they call Carthaginians, Etruscans, and Moors.
The Blackamoor,
same
right?
people. Yep. The Tawny Moor was just the light-skinned ones.
That's one thing people that they have a hard time trying to delineate a Blackamoor from an indigenous Moor.
We know the difference because they don't behave like us. They don't even think along the same lines. Like if you just walk up to the average brother and say, "Hey man, how much would you sell me your mama for?" He can be like, "What?" But if you walk up to one of them and you catch them when they ain't really paying attention, and you say, "Man, how much did you sell me your mama for? Man, give me $5,000. You can take that bitch." Them ain't the same people.
Right.
They're not the same people.
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's a
They'll sell their children. This is how you even end up with a slave system, a system of barter and trade for human life. For them to be your servant so you can be lazy as you want to be if you got enough money.
Mm.
And this is why this is so hard to recover for us, because we being systematically taught to be lazy when it comes to self-development and be ambitious when it comes to the development of others.
Mm-hmm.
We will help everybody else but ourselves. And if you sit back and you think about that, right? We help everybody else but ourselves. What position are you in to be helping somebody if you ain't helped yourself first?
Facts.
Right? I always tell people from when I was locked up to now, when they come to me for advice on starting their business, I say you got to be selfish enough to get where you want to be so that you can help the people you want to help. You have to cut everybody off until you get where you need to be so that you can help the most people if you want to really help. Because as soon as you start developing your skill sets and applying them to your life, all kind of people gonna come. You're gonna have people coming to tear you down. You're gonna have people coming to build you up. You're gonna have some people that came to help you with one part of the problem, but it's a relay race for them. They're gonna pass you off to somebody gonna help you to another part of the problem. Right? But if we don't do the self-development, we won't never see none of that. We'll just be wondering why we struggle. We end up like MC Hammer. Look, MC Hammer made $40 million in a year. 2 years later, he was broke, but he didn't squander one penny. He helped everybody he could. He put everybody he knew on payroll. The millions going to eventually begin to fizzle away.
Yep.
If he would have took the time and said, hold up, what can I do to make this 40 grow? And then how much can I help people with annually that'll allow the 40 to continue to grow? That's a different philosophy. He was so busy trying to take everybody out the hood, it brought him right back to the hood.
That's how it happens. That's how it happens. When you don't teach your people how to fish for themselves. Let me see. We're also going to get into, says one socio-political theory. I don't know.
Look, that's it right there. Yeah. This is the one. This is the one right here. It's a one psychoanalytic theory holds that the blood sacrifice was a simple projection of human. Wait a minute. For example, one political socio theory posits that the power to perform the blood sacrifice stabilizes the community as well as assuming the status quo of the prevailing power structure. That's how the Crispus Attucks George Washington Conjure work. They say, look what it say. Sacrifice stabilize the community. How you gonna stabilize a community that's at war with a blood sacrifice?
Right.
The sacrifice is gonna have to serve some type of narcotic effect on the psyche. Right? So if you ask the mystics, what's the thing that'll make the angel flee from you the quickest? They're going to all tell you the same thing. Adrenaline rush. Fear. The adrenaline rush of fear is not the same as the adrenaline rush of a victory. Because you have what's called cofactors. In victory, you get a massive dopamine release and a massive beta endorphin. Whereas in fear, you get a massive cortisol release and a restriction in dopamine release. So the sick, pheromonically, it's different. the pheromone scent or the subconscious scent is not the same. So they'll know the difference between the fear response and the joy response by how they perceive the scent of the blood. If the dopamine is not high enough and the cortisol is too high, they know that's fear. It's like spraying them with mace. So they use that same science to put the earthborn to sleep with blood sacrifice. It's a stabilizes the community as well as assuring the status quo. When do the status quo change? Right? And the prevailing power structure. So the prevailing power structure is utilizing the sacrifice of the blood ritual to stabilize the society by putting people into a stupor with the blood rites. This is why they gotta have communion on the first Sunday every month. That's paying they dues to the archives.
That's the Eucharist ceremony, correct?
Yep.
And let me see if it'll pull up.
Maybe is this a
Hold on. Okay. Let me see. I got that video up, and I wanted to, because it's talking to, you know, where the home of the Ukrainian mafia is at, right? And over in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to show you that how they lit up the sky red and how it ties into these blood packs. Because it's at the bottom right here talking about how the Jews were a little ahead of the Christians and outlaw aspects of blood sacrifice to replace circumcisions and the prohibition. Let me see something. Let me see. Khazars. All right. Hopefully they'll let me pull it up. All right. Canaanite ritual.
The chief in the building. We was gonna do a Q&A a little later, so y'all have y'all questions ready. Don't be disrespectful. Y'all already know I'm on you. You feel me? Yeah, I'm on you.
Well, they know we be pretty respectful when I come around.
Yeah. You know they.
Yeah, I don't know. I only get it's a certain group of people that don't like what I'm saying that attack me, but they don't know they wouldn't be over here on your channel.
There you go. We're gonna start it out. You know, we got you want to talk about what's going on in Philly?
Yeah. So
let's start like that. Hold on, let me do this here. Hey, I need all my DMV family, my DMV family. Even if you're in New York, you can make it, man. Philadelphia for sure. You did. We gonna put something together in Philadelphia, and it's Indian business. I'm gonna break it down. You feel me? But if y'all in the area, man, come shake a hand and make a friend. You dig? Philadelphia. You want to turn them up on it?
So we have in a meeting of the various different tribal mothers. All of them not gonna be there, right? But the ones that's there, you know, they done went through their process of verifying who they are as a non-treaty tribe. Most of us don't realize it's only 5 tribes with treaties with the colonizers. That's why they call them the 5 civilized tribes. Then they use the made-up term Cherokee for all other tribes that's not under a different treaty.
Yeah.
Right? They said that. I didn't say it.
That's why Cherokee the most populated tribe.
Right. That's why whenever you ask somebody, somebody be like, "Do not look native," and you say, "They can say I got Indian in my blood." You say, "What are you?" You say, "I'm Cherokee." Because Cherokee also encompasses what we call adopted tribes, which is orphans from other places that didn't have nobody to take them in, and we took them in. They can't be full throttle bloodline tribe, but they can be ceremonial tribe, adopted tribe, and they can be people that stragglers on the land that we decided to take care of.
Or somebody that they overthrew, and they'll bring them into the army. Only one condition: that's if the mother of the clans say, "Okay, he fit to serve." But if you ain't fit to serve, they gonna take your eye back, and ain't nobody never gonna hear
Well,
from
we
you.
ain't gonna talk about what Uncle Joe gonna do out there.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna know what happened back in the back.
Yeah, Uncle Joe them take you behind the barn. You know, that's where they take useless cows, useless mules, right?
Beat
So
to the house. Yeah.
a lot of us don't remember our tribal traditions in that the political side of affairs was generally the women's role because the men was doing stuff like hunting, building, stuff like that. So the women took care of the politics until the colonizer came, and then the men had to come out from doing what they was doing because they wouldn't negotiate with women. They refused to negotiate or even have a conversation with a woman.
Yeah.
Right. So it was more female chiefs, women chiefs on the land, and it is today, than it is male chiefs. The rigors that we have, our mothers, aunties, neighborhood, community, they put us through to prove ourselves worthy. Average Joe ain't gonna make it.
Right.
The average Joe ain't gonna make it. So when you get to the age of what they call an elder, you have to be able to solve particular problems in the community. Once you get enough solutions, now you have to create a condition where your people will be ready to receive the solutions to the problems.
Turn up.
Right. So this is what put me on. I've been doing this for 7 years, as bad as I hate social media. This is my assignment, right? This is how my assignment was the social media platforms, because all our babies, when I came home from the joint, everywhere I looked, they had their phone, their face in the phone, a laptop, a tablet. Then if they was in the house, they was on the desktop. So it was all stuck in the computer. How do you reach them? You gotta be on the computer.
Get out there.
Right. So that was my assignment. Now, I didn't think that it would take 7 years to reach critical mass of tribal awareness about what's taking place as we follow the steps through the FEMA continuity of government document, matching it to the downsizing of the government from Donald J. Trump. It is amazing to me how many people don't really understand what they're seeing. It's like it's they seeing it, but they don't know what that means.
Break it down for them, let them know what they missing.
Right, so it's a word called usufruct. You remember you asked me if you ever heard that word?
I was gonna say, he asked me, y'all. I didn't even know it. He had to put me on it.
So what a usufruct agreement is if you leave your house and you're gonna be gone for 10 years and somebody move in there and they taking care of your house, living off your garden in the backyard and everything, but when you come back home and they know you the owner, under the usufruct, they have to surrender it. Right? All of these immediate titles, colonial titles, or whatever other titles they want to attribute to the land patents, was derived from the European judiciary that we call barristers. No judge or lawyer right now are legal. They are all acting under color of law. Right? It's a color of law violation because they are beholden to the charter first established by King George of France in Savannah, Georgia, who later became the King of England by marriage. The police is a foreign occupying military force. Right?
Hey, we can say the same about Cherokee, because really they was a military, a government, but they was a military to a government. But I'm following you though. Break it down.
Okay, now, in order for the King of England to protect his interests, he sent somebody over here they call police. The police didn't originally come over as police. They came over as slave patrols. The slave or the Slav that they talking about was the exiles from Europe before the pale men started coming.
Turn up.
Right? Most of them was melanated Irishmen kidnapped from Ireland and Scotland and brought over here, and y'all thinking that they pale face because they saying Irish and Scottish in the paperwork. You just automatically assuming a pale face Irish or Scotsman.
Yeah.
Never knowing that it was originally inhabited. The Aboriginals of Scotland and Ireland is melanated people.
Yeah. You got Malcolm McDubb, he the father of Scotland, Queen Scotia, Nova Scotia, the mother of Scotland. Yeah. And with Ireland, like we get Benjamin Franklin, Increase of Mankind, he said the Irish, the Dutch, the Swedes, the Germans, the Italians, the damn Scots, all these Englishmen, they say the Spaniards were the blackest, the darkest skin out of all of them.
Them was the conquistadors. Those are the conquistadors.
Yeah.
Right, you gotta remember
the West Indies. I mean, the West Indies documents.
You gotta remember who he was fighting. Everybody know about the conquistador of Asia and Central and South America, but we don't know about it in the territory that they call Mexico.
Right.
In the western coast of the United States. That's why, right, that was all part of the Spanish conquistadors. They came from Spain. New Orleans was fighting a unique group of people because they was fighting Huguenots, which was Frenchmen, which was black Huguenots.
Yeah.
But every time you say Cajun in French, everybody thinking about the pale Frenchman.
Right. The Acadians that came down from Canada.
None of those pale faces, they didn't start getting over here to the 1800s.
Yeah. Yeah, I got them in the, yeah. Yeah,
that means that the people we were fighting before that
were enslaved. They were being enslaved in Europe before then. Like
right, that's how yeah. So now, if you want to know who they brought over as their servants, because remember they came with servants, because they say it in the paperwork.
Yeah, they tell you.
Okay, now they coming from exile as Spanish conquistadors, French Huguenots, and English gentry. The English gentry is invading us in the Northwest, what we call the New England states.
There you go.
Right? This is where we fighting the Northwest Trading Company, the Virginia Company, all those companies. Right? Yeah. Now, when the Crown consolidated all of those companies, right? Because they are all holdings of something called the Crown Company. The Crown Company consists of corporations that look like royal families or governments, but they actually corporations.
There you go.
These corporations are not a legal entity in and of themselves. They enforce through the means of military might and conquest of lands.
There you go.
Right? So the Ottomans, which is where they was at in Turkey, was fighting people called Vedics.
There you go.
And they was fighting Mongolians. Right? But as Romans, Etruscans, they was fighting Huns from the north. Right? So these servants they brought over here is the people that's on reservations that look like Huns and Mongolians.
There you go.
Because right, so when they capture the youth in warfare, because you got to know what the spoils of war is. The spoils of war was the women and children. What you gonna do with the male child?
Gotta get rid of.
You gonna put him in your army?
Yeah.
He not old enough to really understand what's going on, and you're gonna indoctrinate him to follow and be loyal to the army that he in, because his brother next to him got his back.
There you go.
Now he don't know he fighting the enemy's wars.
Cause sometimes they blood related. Let them know that too, huh?
Right, that goes to the what we call the Moorish Hills that created the Khazarians.
Okay, yeah.
The Khazarian,
The Cherokee.
right? Remember when the Khazarian converted to Judaism,
Right.
right? Why did they convert to Judaism as a religion? Because the the Crusades of the Christians was colliding with the jihad of the Moors,
There you go.
right?
And
So they said, I don't want to be. Dr. Clark did a lecture about this. Exactly what is a Jew, right? Farrakhan said we ain't gonna never get our just due until we figure out how to get around the damn Jew.
Right. Because everywhere we go, them niggas, they're shadowing us.
But what we not realizing is these Khazarians and Sephardi, those are the pale Jews. The Sephardi is
Or the dark.
right, those Spanish Jews. Those are mulatto offspring